I want to talk to you guys about Larry David versus Charlie Kirk. This rivalry happened some way. And okay, let me not call it a rivalry. I think that gives it too much dignity on the side of Charlie Kirk, considering this is a pretty one-sided affair of one person talking about the other person, because the other person might not even know who Charlie Kirk is. But Larry David was on CNN doing an interview, and he was asked about his opinion on Donald Trump. And who would have thought that a screenwriter, that a liberal Jewish screenwriter from Hollywood doesn't like Donald Trump that much? Shouldn't be a shock that to anyone. If you look at his work, I don't think that he is sending a message that's like pro-Trump or anything. I mean, he's not particularly going in like, I'm gonna die for the left or whatever, but he's not given any indication that he's pro-Trump. He's said nasty things about Trump before, like a nasty woman. No, but nasty, mean things about Trump, stuff he deserved, in my opinion. I don't know why this would be such a surprise to anyone. But Larry David, again, was asked about his opinion on Donald Trump, and this is what he said.
So, how much has the whole 2020 election and everything that has flowed from it pissed you off?
Oh, I mean, you can't go a day without thinking about what he's done to this country, because he's such a little baby that he's thrown 250 years of democracy out the window by not accepting the results of an. I mean, it's so crazy. He's such a sociopath. He's so insane. He just couldn't admit to losing. And we know he lost. He knows he lost. And look how he's fooled everybody. He's convinced all these people that he didn't lose. He's such a sick man. He's so sick. Anyway, no, it hasn't impacted me at all.
So Larry David doesn't like him, and he doesn't seem to like him for a bunch of reasons, but it seems one of the one he focuses on here is the fact that Donald Trump rejected the results of the 2020 election. And it's not that he just immediately rejected the results, it's that he continued to reject the results, and he continues to reject it this day while running for the same office. And that rejection of the results also took the form of physical action, of him trying to get the government to find him a way around inaugurating Joe Biden, the winner of the 2020 election. He tried to subvert the democracy, whether it be the executive orders that were getting written up about seizing voting machines using the military, whether it was the elector scheme as they started getting all these fake electors to say that they were the real electors when we know that they weren't, in an attempt to cause confusion so it'd be sent back to the states, and then the states, being led by majority Republican state bodies, would then possibly, if Trump's lucky, vote in his favor to keep him in office. So that seemed to be the general outline of the plan. And if you're somebody who wants your vote to count, who wants you to be able to have an impact on the electoral process and not have the president just say, never mind, then yes, that would be annoying to you, especially if that same person would go on afterwards to be in public and say things as a Republican in Lincoln's party, in Reagan's party, that has taped the Constitution all over their body, has some of them probably like rehearse it like it's the Quran, the Bible, the Hadiths, like the Torah. Like they love the Constitution, if nothing more than an aesthetic. Even though I do think some love it principally. That guy came out and said we need to suspend the U.S. Constitution if I'm not made president. He loses an election, and his response is to call for the suspension of the U.S. Constitution. And then after the U.S. Constitution is suspended, which would, of course, undercut the legal basis of... I don't even... How do you even start? But it would not only, of course, undercut the Constitution, which is the legal basis for a lot of our basic rights, freedoms, etc., in our country and our legal process, but it would then return him back to power because he hadn't really won, and he had done it, got himself back into power by throwing a hissy fit. So if you're somebody who cares about democracy, doesn't like the idea of just subverting the process once you've lost, doesn't like the idea of somebody calling the Secretary of State of Georgia and saying, just find me the votes, just make me the winner, The exact. Can we play it quick? Can we play that? I mean, I play it like so much, but one more time. Trump, Georgia election call. Let's listen to his perfect phone call. Just a clip. Do we have just a clip of it? Here it is.
U.S. President Donald Trump pressured Georgia's top election official to, quote, find enough votes to overturn his defeat in the state, according to audio of a Saturday phone call obtained by the Washington Post. The Post, which published excerpts on Sunday of the hour-long call between Trump and Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, a fellow Republican, said Trump alternately flattered, begged, and threatened Raffensperger with vague criminal consequences.
He did. He said, like, hey, if you don't do what's right here, you might get some consequences. And by the way, even though he didn't get any legal consequences, Donald Trump did go on to endorse Brad Raffensperger's opponent, who did lose. But you see that Donald Trump was trying in some way to deliver on that promise, since Brad Raffensperger didn't make the votes turn up for him to win. And by the way, Donald Trump lists the exact amount of votes. Like, it's like 11,130. It's like very specific, the number. And it just so happens to be the same number that Trump was exactly down by in the state of Georgia, the votes he asked him to find.
In an attempt to undo his loss in Georgia to Democratic President-elect Joe Biden. The newspaper said that throughout the call, Raffensperger and his office's general counsel rejected Trump's assertions and told the president that he was relying on debunked conspiracy theories about what was a fair and accurate election.
Republican Secretary of State, by the way. Anyway, Larry David doesn't like this. I'm of the same opinion. Charlie Kirk came out and started going after Larry David. And I'm used to, like, you know, a celebrity comes out, endorses something liberal, conservatives like, oh, these celebrities. Repeat. We've seen this before. We've seen this cycle before, again. And I expected that. I expected, like, oh, he doesn't like Trump. Well, of course he doesn't like Trump. And then all the scripting factors I threw out there. But this is different, because Charlie Kirk starts to go after Larry David's body of work as a comedian. Like he's trying to say Larry David isn't funny, while he's Larry fucking David, man. Listen to this.
Man, he's really lost his fastball. That's Larry David, who used to be a really funny guy. People would ask, you know, Charlie, do you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm? I never liked Larry David. He is not the brains of the operation of Seinfeld. It was obviously Jerry or somebody else. He's a baby.
How could you have any knowledge of who Larry David is or who Jerry is and come to that conclusion? Here's a question, and I think this is an obvious thing. After Seinfeld's over, do you know what Larry David goes on to do? He goes on to do Curb Your Enthusiasm on HBO, which didn't just hit it out of the park. It hit it out of the park again and again and again, won countless awards, and made Larry David even more of a household name, because millions upon millions of Americans found it funny. That's what Larry David did. 118 episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm. What did Jerry do after Seinfeld was over? What did Jerry do? B-movie? I guess he did the B-movie. He was the B in the B-movie. So we've got the B in the B-movie. Yeah. And dating an underage girl or two versus Curb Your Enthusiasm, all the awards that came with it. Can we look up all the awards Curb Your Enthusiasm made quick? I'm sorry. He could have just fought him on the politics. Why would you say something so ignorant that shows so clearly you haven't even, I don't think he's even given the show a try. But Curb Your Enthusiasm awards. Writers Guild of America Award for Best Comedy. Golden Globe Award for Best Television series. What else here? Danny Thomas Producer of the Year Award, British Comedy Award for 2007, 2006. Oh, and that Danny Thomas Award was 2005 and 2003. Primetime Emmy Award for outstanding, outstanding directing for a comedy series. Primetime Creative Arts Emmy Award for a comedy series, 2012. 2012 and 23, Director Guild of America for outstanding directing. And that's only talking about the things they've won. Let's talk about nominations. If we can go a little bit further and go into the nominations of all the different characters and whatever. Point is, Curb Your Enthusiasm rocks. It's a good show. I like it, right? But that's my opinion. But it's also the opinion of a lot of other people. It's won a lot of awards, and it's also the opinion of, I think, HBO, because they keep renewing it and they want more. They want to get as many of those shows as they can out of Larry before, he gets older and he can't do it anymore. So I think Charlie Kirk is speaking a little bit above his pay grade here when it comes to comedy or his knowledge of media. Jerry was the head of the opera. God, get out of here.
Sick.
He must have really loved B-Movie, man.
Larry David, you perfectly just showed us exactly what is going on tonight at this New York fundraiser.
Oh, no.
This is the Upper East crew. Tonight, around 4 or 5 p.m., you might as well just close down the streets. There will be a parade of these miserable Upper East Side zealots that have a lot of money. The lords of easy money, connected to Wall Street, hedge fund, titans of all sorts.
To be clear, he's a Turning Point USA boy. He got that golden goose right-wing NGO money. Get out of here. No. Back up, okay? You think Turning Point doesn't take that Wall Street money? You don't think Turning Point takes that big right-wing influence? Oh, get out of here. No. Get out of here. Come on.
Connected to Wall Street, hedge fund, titans of all sorts of industry. And they're just going to go right down Park Avenue. They're going to go right down Fifth Avenue to the New York City Radio Hall to have in their own mind a religious experience. Tonight is essentially group therapy. Tonight is essentially $100,000, $250,000 for group therapy.
What the fuck is he looking at? I keep seeing his eyes shifting around. Like the only people I see their eyes shift around like that is when somebody's like looking at the door because they think someone's coming in. I think they must have like a script down there, I think, probably on the laptop. And he's got all of his zingers lined up in the notes app on his laptop there.
$100,000, $250,000 for group therapy. Be among the other mentally deranged people in New York that live very shallow lives. You know what's really interesting is it's obvious that ever since Donald Trump came on the scene, Larry David is not as happy of a person as he once was. He's really never been that happy.
Where is this coming from? Who made Charlie Kirk the Larry David historian, the Davidologist over here? What? Is Charlie Kirk like more happy? Like what is it even? How would you even measure this? Larry David, I mean, he is right about the second part. He is like the stereotypical grumpy man. The stereotypical grumpy man on TV. He but to be clear, that's a TV show. That's a TV show. How would he even know unless he watches Larry David on the regular? Does he watch Larry David on the regular? If he does, why would you? I thought he was unfunny. This feels like projection, as I saw somebody in Gutter Chat point out.
I think he's an atheist. He's snarky. He's your typical kind of New York Woody Allen type that is constantly complaining and thinks he could be really funny.
I'm sorry, but Charlie Kirk knows nothing about funny. I've never heard him say anything funny. I would say his existence maybe is funny. His face is funny, right? And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as a compliment. Like there is something beautiful about having a unique face like Charlie Kirk's. I mean, it's something that catches people's eyes. It's memorable. It's a memorable face. Like the Elephant Man was memorable too. And it's not an insult. I'm just saying his face is memorable. But he doesn't know anything about comedy. I don't know why he's like, oh, it's not really funny. This is funny. And of course, you could say to his personal opinion, it's funny. But when you say this about, like, if I came out and said Mozart, not good, I'd have to follow that up with something. Like, I could say that's my personal opinion. I don't like classical music. Fine. But Larry David's funny. He's gotten the awards for being funny. He keeps getting renewed for being funny. He's recognized by most Americans for being funny. He's at least funny to a certain respect. Maybe he doesn't appreciate that respect. Maybe that type of humor doesn't appeal to him. He's funny. He's a funny guy.
Funny. By the way, that clip, he's a baby. He's sick. He's sick. Use some different words, man. You wrote Seinfeld.
It's a TV interview about the news. Does he have to come out there with, yeah, no, Donald Trump is, and like zinger after zinger after zinger? It wasn't supposed to be funny. It was just him saying, yeah, I don't like him. I don't think he respects our democracy. He was angry. He doesn't like Trump. He didn't want to express a zinger. He wanted to express his disgust. He's not just there to dance for you like a monkey. Celebrities can have opinions too. Often dumb, but they're allowed to have some opinions too.
You're talking like a ninth grader.
Saying he's sick. Saying that Donald Trump, the guy that said we should bomb the families of terrorists, directly advocating for targeting civilians, calling him sick is acting like a fourth grader, or is it just being honest? Calling the guy that's been delaying aid to one of our major allies, Ukraine, while also claiming that he would have supported it and stopped Russia from invading in the first place. That type of stuff is sick. It's using their bodies for the political gain. I think it's disgusting. Yeah, I do think he's sick. I think he was right. There's many things that Trump has done that is sick. We could go through the people he's scammed, the people he's cheated on. I mean, come on. Look, I don't want to go into all the record, but what was he supposed to do? What is he supposed to call Trump that Charlie Kirk would have been happy with? He's unpleasant.
Who had her SSRIs taken away from her. Like, come on, like, let's get some new vocabulary there, man.
What is that? Is sick like a word that has been overused? Is this like an old-timey word, sick? Does he like view people in Hollywood as like people? Or just like as caricatures? Like he's the funny man, so he's supposed to come out and do the dance. Like if you ask an artist a serious question or a comedian a serious question, they can give you a serious answer. They're also people, you know. My goodness. Well, Charlie, here's my advice. If you understand funny, you go make a comedy TV show on HBO that runs 118 episodes and wins like over a dozen awards.